Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the channel. Today's video is going to be sort of a response video. I haven't been tagged as per se, but I thought I'd do a response video as there's a tag that's been going around and it's inevitable. We all usually end up getting tagged by someone at the end of the day, so I thought I'd get ahead of the bullet and do a tag video. Probably go up tomorrow, so you'll have double videos from me this weekend. This is in response to a tag, I believe, that Jodie, over at Jodie's Movie Realm, I believe she started it, and that's top 10 movies of the 70s. And I've seen one from Roy as well, and I was having back and forth with him. I said, you know what, I might, because as he knows, 70s is definitely a weaker decade for me in terms of films that I've watched and really enjoy. So I thought it would be an interesting one to do. I know Kenny's also done his since as well. So yeah, but before I forget, because I might end up ending the video without tagging some more people. I don't believe these people have been tagged yet, but if you have, please feel free to ignore it. I am going to tag Alan Meggs over at Physical Media Lives. Alan's sort of the prime age for like the 70s films, and I'm sure he will come up with a fantastic list himself. I'm also going to tag Mike, that other retro guy. Be interested to see what films from the 70s like he really enjoys as well. And then my third and final tag is going to go to a newer channel who I want to give a little bit of a shout out as well, because he's just started. I don't know how many subs he's got so far, but be good to go and give him a sub. Go and check his channel out. He's not done anything for about a week, I don't think, but great channel. And that's Den's Movie Cave. he really is into like his 3Ds. He's done various videos showing off his 3D Blu-ray collection so far. He likes horror as well, so he's done some short horror reviews and just stuff that he's picked up recently as well. But really down to earth guy. So go and check him out, and I'm going to tag him as well, like I said, to take part. And as always, with all of these tag videos, and everyone says this, you have no obligation to take part if you don't have the time or you just simply don't want to. I just want to tag you because I'm interested to see what your top 10 films from the 70s would be. And if you get the chance, it will be great to see it. But without further ado, I'm going to go straight into my top 10. I'm not going to do any honourable mentions. We're just going to go bang, very concise top 10 list and go from there. Now the first probably two are probably a bit left field, not ones you would expect to be in this list, but for me, I just really enjoyed them enough for them to just make the list. So coming in at number 10 is actually a Bob Clark film, and it was a first time watch for me last year, this film, and that is Murder by Decree, which is a Sherlock Holmes sort of adaptation. In this, Holmes is played by the great Christopher Plummer. You have got James Mason playing Dr. Watson. You've got a small but pivotal performance from Donald Sutherland in here as well. John Gielgud's in there, David Hemmings, Susan Clark, Anthony Quayle. Fantastic cast of British actors in here. I just think it's a really well done Sherlock Holmes story. I watched this, like I said, last year, and I do like the Sherlock Holmes films that I've seen, but wasn't really aware of this, and I'm pretty sure it was actually Roy that put me onto this one. So it's just really good. Obviously, it's basically Sherlock Holmes going up against Jack the Ripper in this one, trying to find out who Jack the Ripper is and ultimately stopping him. Really dark film, quite not brutal, but for 12, it's because of the subject matter, it is quite dark, I would say. But if you like a Sherlock Holmes film, this is one of my favourite Sherlock Holmes films now. I think Christopher Plummer takes the part really well. Like I said, it just looks really grimy as well, just the look of the film. Very 70s, and yeah, that is why it has made my top 10 in at number 10. That is Murder by Decree. Next up, a childhood classic favourite of mine, whatever you want. Watched this like sort of on repeat growing up. I just absolutely adore it. One of my favourite Disney films, and I've mentioned this many times on the channel before, so it'll be no surprise that that is Bedknobs and Broomsticks with the just fantastic Angela Lansbury. David Tomlinson, who was also in Mary Poppins about 6 years before this, I think it was. And in this, it basically follows these three siblings who are evacuated to the countryside during, basically, I think it's during the Blitz in World War II, and they're housed by Miss Price, played by Angela Lansbury. Now, the town and the Home Guard are all she's a bit of an outlier. They all think that she's a witch. And you sort of find out throughout the film, is she a witch, is she not a witch? You've got David Tomlinson, who's sort of an old acquaintance of hers that joins them on their journey along the way. I don't want to spoil it too much, just in case by chance you have never watched this film before. But it's a really good family film, great Disney film, really rewatchable. One, like I say, I grew up with, so I had to include it in my list. Some great songs in here, great use of animation in here as well, when they go to Naboom Boom towards the end. But yeah, I just love this film, so I just had to include it in my list. That is Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Coming in at number 8, another one that I believe I only watched for the first time last year, and it's a Walter Hill film. And I just think this is just a fantastic 70s film. I know it's one of my granddad's favourite films as well. In fact, I think he borrowed the Blu-ray for quite some time, which is why it took me a while to actually get around to watching it. I've probably owned the Blu-ray for quite a few years now. And that is The Warriors. Fantastic film. Just a very 70s feeling film. Just the look of it and just everything about this film, even though it is very late 70s, 79, it just has that 70s look and feeling to it when you're watching it. And it's basically, there's these sort of different gangs in New York, and it focuses on the one gang, the Warriors, who basically have to make their way back to Coney Island on this night time, and they've got all these other rival gangs sort of out to get them during this night. So it's about them trying to get back home, essentially, whilst also being tracked down sort of by these other gangs that are out for blood. So it's a really good film. Yeah, like I say, I really enjoyed it. Look forward to giving this one a rewatch. I think Arrow did release it, but only in America, if I remember rightly. So I don't know if we actually have had a 4K release of this over here yet, but I'm sure this is one that would just look fantastic on 4K. Yeah, just a really, really good film. So that is The Warriors in at number 8. In at number 7 is a Dustin Hoffman film, and again, first time watch for me last year. This was one of, if not for me, his most underrated films. One of his best and, again, most underrated performances. And that is, of course, Straight Time. Now, I know, obviously, Jodie, I haven't actually seen Jodie's yet. I've just seen that she's got it. I've still got Jodie's to watch. I don't know, she may have included this in her list. I know it was in her top 10 Dustin Hoffman list. So maybe it made her top 10 70s list as well. I'll have to watch it to find out. But just, he is great in this. He gives such a good performance. And the behind the scenes of this as well, which if you want to know the behind the scenes, I'd recommend going to watch the top 10 video that Jodie did with Andy over at Forgotten World of Movies, because she goes into the behind the scenes of how this was originally basically supposed to be directed by Dustin Hoffman himself, but he didn't basically feel up. He didn't think he had what it took to do it. So he got a director that he was friends with, that he'd worked with before, to direct it instead. But it's a great film. Basically follows Dustin Hoffman's character, who has just been released from prison, and he's trying to go straight, hence the title, like, not get back into the world that he was in before being in prison. And it's about the difficulty of adapting back to normal life once you have left prison. And like I said, it's a fantastic film. You've got Jim's favourite, crazy Gary Busey, in here. You have also got Harry Dean Stanton, who's fantastic. Emma McWalsh, who plays his parole officer, right sleazeball in this. Even a very, very early role from Kathy Bates in here, who plays Gary Busey's character's wife. Teresa Russell, who's absolutely gorgeous in this film as well, who sort of plays Dustin Hoffman's love interest. It's just a great sort of crime thriller film from the 70s. So yeah, I had to include this one on my list as well. So yeah, number 7 is Straight Time. Coming in at number 6 is another just classic film, featuring an incredible performance, and it did in fact win Best Picture at the Oscars, and that is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. A rough watch, but it's worth it for the performances from Nicholson, even Brad Dourif, he's fantastic in this film, and of course Louise Fletcher as Nurse Ratched, who is despicable in this film. And it follows obviously Jack Nicholson's character, who is Murphy in it. Murphy, yeah, who's just a bit of a petty crook, but he is confined to this mental hospital basically, and it's about the conditions in this hospital, how the patients are treated and all that, and how they do become even more insane whilst they're in there. The scene the scene at the end it's one of those films. It does have like a heartbreaking ending, but at the end of the day you're also really glad for this character, because of the pain that he was in, and just the state that he ends up becoming in. But yeah, great film, great performance from Nicholson, like I said, especially. Produced actually by Michael Douglas, who obviously technically won an Oscar for this because it did win Best Picture. But yeah, if you haven't seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, do yourself a favour and go and give it a watch. Then coming in at number 5, one of my favourite Pacino films. This is one of his most underrated performances, I think, as well, and is just such a great film. Watch this at the height of summer, like I did, on a really hot day, and you'll really feel this film even more, I believe. And that is, of course, Dog Day Afternoon. About it's basically this guy. He and his friend, played by John Cazale. Brilliant. Only ever did 5 films, but was fantastic in every single film, and every single film he was in was nominated for Best Picture. And in this, they are 2 sort of low-life bank robbers that go in and rob a bank, and it goes terribly wrong and sort of turns into this sort of siege on one of the hottest days of the year. And it is just such a good film, so tense. The dialogue in this, and I'm trying to think of who it was. Is it Chris Sarandon that plays like sort of his, I'll just say friend, if you've not seen it. I'm sure it is. Correct me if I'm wrong though. What a performance from him as well in this film, and like I say, it's just so tense. It just leaves you on the edge of your seat, because you just want to know what is going to happen to these characters next. And as the film goes on, you really do start to feel for Pacino's character and sort of empathise with the reason for why he is doing what he is doing. And it is just a brilliant, brilliant 70s film. That is Dog Day Afternoon. Coming in at number 4, probably one of my favourite comedies of all time. Just makes me chuckle every time I watch it, and it's very rare that I do laugh at a comedy, because it really takes something to get me laughing. That's just because of the way that I am. But I think you're doing a good job if you can get someone like me to laugh during a film, and this film certainly does that, and that is, of course, Monty Python's Life of Brian. Fantastic film. Of the Monty Python films I have seen so far, it is my favourite. It is just so quotable, so funny. There's just some great characters in here. Of course, the ending as well, with that very, very famous song that is like just everywhere now. It's huge. Apparently, it is one of the most played songs at funerals. Crazy. But yeah, just a different take on a story that has been done before, but in a comedic way with different characters, and it really works. Like I said, there's some great lines in this that I'm not going to ruin, because if you haven't seen this film by any chance, give it a go, go in blind, and yeah, I just really hope you enjoy it. Obviously, humour is subjective, so it may not be for everyone, but I say you can't knock it till you try it. So, but yeah, Life of Brian is at number 4. Coming in at number 3, we have another classic 70s film and a fantastic performance from Gene Hackman, and it is, of course, The French Connection. Now, I also will say I really do enjoy the second one. The second one gets a lot of flack. He is sort of basically on drugs for a lot of the film, not by choice. And it's a bit ropey because obviously it's not in New York. It moves from New York to Marseille. But I just really loved how they continued the story in the second one, and it kept its grittiness, but maybe it went a bit too far with the story, which I can understand. But that first film, I mean, Popeye is an iconic character, Popeye Doyle, and just it for me, it's one of the. I mean, some people would say Bullet. Wasn't a fan of Bullet, but for me, this has got one of the best car chases in film. That's just my personal opinion. It's just great. This cop that sort of just wants to get these scumbags. You got Roy Scheider in there as well in the first one. And yeah, it's just a fantastic Friedkin film. Probably my favourite Friedkin film. Now, a lot of people would probably have the other big Friedkin film from the 70s in their list. Not me. I've been on record. Not a massive fan of The Exorcist. Just personal opinion, only seen it the once, and I laughed all the way through, and I don't think that was the intention of the film. But yeah, Gene Hackman in this, like I said, fantastic. So yeah, number 3 for me is French Connection. Coming in at number 2, I'm not going to swear. This is just a fantastic John Travolta film. Just think he is brilliant in this. And it is not the film that you expect it to be going into it. Not for me at all. I was expecting something else like Grease, and it was not that film at all. And that is, of course, Saturday Night Fever, with just one of the best soundtracks ever, in my opinion, from the Bee Gees. Iconic opening scene with just him walking down the road with the paint cans. It's just a really dark, sort of coming-of-age story in a way about this young man and basically what happens on an average Saturday night in New York. And it goes really dark. The scene in the car is rough. If you've seen it, you should probably know what I'm talking about. But it's just a fantastic film. I think the soundtrack, like I say, really elevates this film. It's just got some great scenes in it. At the like him disco dance, obviously iconic, isn't it? And yeah, it's just a classic. Another film that is just very 70s. It really does feel like a 70s film. If you didn't know it was in this, well, you would. Just from watching this film, if you had no idea what year it came out, you'd know it's a 70s film just by the look and the tone of the film. Like a lot of the films I've mentioned in this list. But yeah, Saturday Night Fever, I absolutely love. So yeah, that is number 2 on my list. Coming in at number 1, what could it possibly be? Now, this will put a smile on a certain friend's face, that's for sure. And that certain friend probably knows who he is when I show this film. But I just had to put this on this list. I've seen this film 2-3 times now. I watched the Blu-ray when that came out. I said when it came out. No, because I wasn't around when it came out. I watched it when I had the old chunky box set with all the films in. I watched all of the films pretty much straight away, so that was years ago now. And then obviously we got the 4K of this film last year, and it is one of the best looking 4Ks you will ever see. I think you know where I'm going with this. Of course, it's Dirty Harry. In my opinion, probably the best Clint Eastwood film. That's a spoiler. Yes, this is probably my favourite Clint Eastwood film. And I think this 4K just enhances just my enjoyment of the film, watching the film, because it just is so sharp. It looks so good, this 4K, and it sounds fantastic as well. Clint Eastwood as Dirty Harry is one of my favourite characters in film history. It is just the epitome of awesome, in my opinion. And just him going after what's his name? Scorpion? Yeah, Scorpion Killer, isn't it? Don't know why I blanked there. Who just is a creepy looking motherfucker. Sorry, I did swear. And it's just got some awesome scenes in it. The scene where I think, does he kick him or stab him? When he beats the shit out of him, the scream that he lets out basically is what I'm getting at. Oh, it goes right through you, because apparently I think it was actually real. It's just such a watchable film, great thriller. It is dark, it is gritty, it is again another film from the 70s that is the epitome of 70s filmmaking. Yeah, but it's all sort of went downhill after this, unfortunately. But all the Dirty Harry films are entertaining, but none of them ever got to the level of this one again. So yeah, number one on my list is Dirty Harry. So yeah, that's my list. Let me know your thoughts on my list down below. Do you agree with any of them? Do you disagree with any of them? Give me just your general thoughts, what you think of all of those down below. Have you seen them all? What's your list? If you don't intend on making a video, let me know your list down in the comment section below as well. Like I said, I'll try and get this video to go up tomorrow. And yeah, I'll have weekly watches up on Sunday as well, hopefully. Not too many to talk about this week, actually, so should be a nice short weekly watches this week. But yeah, if you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Turn the notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel. And again, tags, I've just remembered, Den, Mike and Alan. If you want to take part, please do, but feel no obligation to. But that is it, everyone. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.